Roy Smith is our corn and soybean market analyst this week. To put it mildly, good things happened to those commodities on Tuesday and Wednesday. The May soybean contract added more than 30 cents a bushel Tuesday and closed up more than 20 cents in Wednesday's encore. The USDA's latest crop progress report shows the country's farmers have put 13% of this year's corn in the ground, 5 points ahead of the nation's 5-year average. Nebraska's growers planted 7% of their corn in the latest stretch and are now 4 points in front of the state's normal pace. We talked with Roy Wednesday afternoon about what this week's rally means for selling strategies, but we started by asking for an update on planting progress in his area of southeast Nebraska.
Well, here in Cass County, most people have got a little bit of planting done. At least 1 or 2 people have quite a few acres in, but it's going pretty well, just really kind of getting started.
We've seen some positive news over the last 2 days in corn and soybean markets. Diagnose for me what's happening.
Well, first of all, my principle that I try to teach people in the marketing workshops is always sell some corn the 1st of May. Well, here we are sneaking up on the 1st of May. It's a little early, but in fact, I sold some of my old crop corn just because it needs to be sold before planting starts, and so we've got that done. We've had some excitement in Brazil with them trying to impeach the president. That maybe has had some indirect effect because of the value of their currency, which would be affected by the possibility of the president being gone, and there's talk of Chinese are in there buying again, and of course we like to see that. That's really good, solid business for developing demand.
Let's talk about corn first. You said you usually sell around, or the strategy is to always sell corn around May 1st. So was this a little earlier than you would have preferred to sell?
Well, it was a little earlier. I guess, you know, those rules that I have like that, it's nice if they hit exactly on the day, but that doesn't happen very often. And the fact that it was about 10 days early, that just says I got it done and I don't have to worry about it anymore. And the same thing with doing any new crop forward pricing. The chart says 1st of May, but if you want to do it on the 20th of April or the 8th of May or whatever, you know, that's within the parameters of what we normally would be looking for, and it came right on time this year.
Would the same hold for soybeans?
Same holds for soybeans. I actually have a date, the 16th trading day of April is the peak day for soybean pricing, and yeah, it doesn't very often hit exactly that day, but that's the target date to get something done. If you want a forward price, that's when you shoot for that time to do it.
If you have any old crop left, do you think this is the time to get rid of it?
Absolutely, and I don't think there's very many bushels of old crop left. Yeah, it's hard to judge that. You don't know what's in these bins that belong to somebody else, but you know, people got impatient in the wintertime and wanted to sell, and wanted to sell a little sooner than what the seasonal trends say. But this market today, it's going to reward you if you procrastinated just a little bit, because we've gone up 20 or 30 cents here in just a very short period of time. And I'll say in the next few days, it will be time to make some sales.
What are the risks out there right now that could impact the market?
Well, we always have the old standby risk, not getting the planting done, not getting it done on time, or a poor stand, or cutworms. There's just a lot of things out there that are risks, but very rarely do they affect the actual number of acres that get planted.
What are you looking at in basis, and how could that move here as we start to get further into the planting season?
Well, if we get some nice warm weather now and people really get going in the field, you know, we're apt to see a basis improve a little bit. I would certainly hope so, because it's been sitting right where it's at all winter and all spring, and we really need to see that basis improve, but it hasn't happened so far.
Seasonally, what would you expect out of prices as we move from spring into summer?
Well, if you look at the long-term charts, you see starting about the 15th of May, the market starts to slip away. The price starts to slip away, I should say, as people are less concerned once the crop is planted. You know, it's not going to yield anything if it doesn't get planted, but once it gets planted, then it has the potential to have some yield, and which is what we need, of course, but it's just gradually eroding away until we get to some place in the middle of summer where there's concern, dry weather, wet weather, whatever. And then there's a chance for a weather rally, was what I call it.